Historian Ruth Dudley Edwards argued that Sinn Féin were organising lots of theatre which was distracting Brexit discussions from the fact there was a simple solution. She said, "There is a lot of bogus nonsense going on about this. The Good Friday Agreement has nothing to do with the EU and Europe. The EU had no part to play in it. There is nothing in the Good Friday Agreement that is affected by Brexit. This is a lot of propaganda that is going on. What is happening is potential problems are being talked up. For instance, Sinn Féin have organised lots of theatre on the border with people in customs uniforms from 30 years ago, suggesting this is what is coming back. There is a perfectly good solution to the problem of the border." BBC Jetta Brexit News. The historian claimed there was a simple solution to the Irish border. There is a perfectly good solution to the problem of the border, Ruth Dudley Edwards, which is to have no more physical infrastructure than you have at the moment. There are already different distinctions. For heaven's sake, there are two different currencies. There is no need for physical infrastructure on the border. The technology has been tried out in Norway and Sweden and been found to work. The European Union's Brexit negotiator has called for realism over the terms of the future relationship between the UK and Brussels. Michel Barnier's comments came after claims from EU officials that Britain has a fantasy approach to the talks sparked anger. Chancellor Philip Hammond and Theresa May's top Europe advisor Ollie Robbins were forced to defend the government's approach after the criticism from Brussels. Mr. Barnier's intervention during a visit to Portugal illustrated the gap between the two sides in the negotiations. "Time is running short," he said, stressing the need to finalise the withdrawal agreement, including an agreed backstop proposal covering cross-border issues between the UK and Ireland. Mrs May has rejected the European Commission's fallback option to cover the border, which would see Northern Ireland remain closely tied to EU rules, effectively creating a new border in the Irish Sea. She has promised to put forward the UK's alternative backstop proposal, although the Prime Minister remains hopeful of finding a way to solve the problem of the border within the wider post-Brexit deal. Mr Barnier stressed that realism is needed on the future relationship